I gave you my heart, but the very next day you gave it away. This year, to save me from tears, I'll give it to someone special. Last Christmas, I gave you my heart, but the very next day you gave it away. This year, to save me from tears, I'll give it to someone special. Once bitten, twice shy. I keep my distance, but you still catch my eye. Tell me, baby, do you recognize me? Well, it's been a year, it doesn't surprise me. Merry Christmas, I wrapped it up and sent it with a note saying I love you, I meant it. Now I know what a fool I've been, but if you kiss me now, I know you fool me again. Last Christmas, I gave you my heart, but the very next day you gave it away. This year, to save me from tears, I'll give it to someone special. Cry on a face on a love with a fire in his heart. A man undercover, but you tore me apart. Ooh, now I found a real love, you never fool me again. Last Christmas, I gave you my heart, but the very next day you gave it away. This year, to save me from tears, I'll give it to someone special. Last Christmas, I gave you my heart, but the very next day you gave me away. To save me from tears, I'll give it to someone special. I'll give it to someone special, special. A face on a lover with a fire in his heart. I gave you mine, ooh, I'll give it to someone, I'll give it to someone special. Gave you mine.
I don't really like covers, but that's a good cover. That's a good cover of that song. But yeah, Jordan's cover was better. I don't even know why I played that one, honestly. I think I had 85 subscribers, and I did this too late because I should have done it with the 85 so I could put 85 sub special. Oh my god. Ow. I just kicked myself. Okay. So I was like, okay, well, I want to listen to Jordan. But no one was streaming Jordan right now, so I was like, oh, I have to do it. It's fine. It's okay. It's okay. And I wanted to put him in The Sims. I wanted to recreate his apartment. So I'm gonna try to do that. And I think apparently my YouTube says I didn't watch Call 5, so we could just, you know what, it sometimes blurs together. Jordan just blurs, or Joy Run blurs together. So we're just gonna start watching part 4 of the apology call and then go to part 5. And then I also want to do the interview he did with Mini Syllables, because I don't think I've listened to that on stream. I don't think so. I thought I did, but I guess not. Whatever.
On the night of July 6, 2020, Joran released his apology video. He didn't even mean to do it.
Need to do it.
The reaction was swift and fierce. On July 7, 2020, Joran called West to discuss his feelings.
Discuss his feelings.
This was an hour before the interview with many syllables and was a chance for Joran to prepare. Warning: Westmost is kind of a troll in this call. If that is not your thing, please skip this video. The date was July 7, 2020. The time was 12:30.
Sir. Sir. A second YAHAA has hit the building.
p.m.
You, with everything, that's happened since last night. What's going on in your head right now?
Wes, there's a world where I think there's like one apartment that's literally a square, so I'm gonna put him in that one. And it has like a mouse hole, so like a mice will run around in it. A mice run around, and I think like it just the appliances break all the time in that one.
Well, very nervous about the interview.
Mm-hmm. Very nervous.
I've done everything I can physically and mentally to keep myself calm.
Why does this not sound as loud as I want it
I'm
to?
not running away, which is something.
What did you do physically?
I did a little.
Huh, okay.
I did a little exercise.
I did a little exercise.
I smoked a little CBD.
I can't with this. I smoked a little CBD. Like, bro. Oh my god, this is so funny.
Oh, okay. What kind of exercise did you do, just out of curiosity?
Push-ups.
Oh, all right.
Push-ups.
I find if I exercise, if I fatigue myself a little bit physically, it helps me with anxiety and stuff like that.
No, that's good to hear. So, were you viewing?
Could you imagine, like, I don't know, being this girl and then knowing what you did, and then you're the one who's like has anxiety, like, oh, yeah, well, I'm nervous. I had to work out. Like, dude, you're the one who did all this stuff. Like, hello, troll. Yeah, why is he nervous?
Were you around when the video debuted, or did you just set it to debut and kind of forget about it? And have you looked at the video? What are your thoughts?
I have not looked at any comments.
Okay.
I've completely isolated myself from anyone online up until about half an hour ago.
Okay. Have you got a lot of messages?
He's so dramatic.
Last I saw, notification was at least 20.
Wow.
So it's a lot, but I'm like, I need to be in the right frame of mind for this interview, because right now the interview is the most important thing, and I don't want to be
the most important thing.
Any sort of negative headspace where I can't do my best for that.
Yeah, well, let's after the interview, let's talk about it, because there were some comments made. I know you don't want to read everything, but there were some comments made from some people that
he does like the knee push-ups for sure. He doesn't do like the full push-ups. You know, like when your gym teacher's like, you don't have to do the whole thing. You could just do the one on your knees. You could get the points.
You may want to address. So let's do that after your interview. I agree. You should be in the right headspace. You did some push-ups.
Oh my god, guys! I just remembered. I have horses in my Sims game, and I bought the pack so I could put him on the horse. I'm gonna put him on a horse.
Some CBD.
Oh my god!
Did you eat a good breakfast, or
did you eat a good breakfast?
Lunchtime there, huh?
Did you guys eat a good breakfast? I just got Starbucks. I've been craving a chocolate croissant.
Yeah. I haven't eaten the last 2 days.
I haven't eaten. Oh my god!
Don't look at that. That's
don't worry about me, Wes. I'm fine.
Past, so it's a lot easier for me than other people.
Okay, well that's good. You should maybe do some content about fasting at some point.
Some
People are really interested in that.
I would love that. Yeah.
All right. So this interview.
Oh, I also just recently found out that Jordan sounds like him from Powerpuff Girls. I think Viral Effects said that. I'm pretty sure.
What kind of questions are you anticipating being asked? What are the questions that make you nervous? I guess would be the best question, and then let's work backwards from there.
I think anticipating any questions about me getting aroused by underage girls.
are you?
Oh my
do you
god.
expect that question to come up, and how are you going to answer it?
I do anticipate it'll come up.
Mm.
I do
I mean,
anticipate.
she's given me no information. I don't know if it's going to be a half-hour interview or a 2-hour interview. I have no idea the amount of questions.
Well,
I just know that she can
in
feel.
my experience, you write down 10, 15, 20 questions, and then while you're interviewing, 20, 30 more come up. I've never set a planned time for an interview, but most of mine have gone at least an hour and a half.
Could you imagine a Jordan workout video? Oh my god.
Now this is a different situation, and I don't know her interview style, but yeah, it's a good idea not to plan an amount of time that it's going to take.
Oh, I have no plans. This is the main.
I have
thing for
no
today,
plan.
and if I have time later to do some laundry.
Okay. So if asked that question, how are you
Laundry.
going to
Okay.
respond to that?
I have
Okay.
absolutely got aroused looking at pictures of high
Oh
school girls.
my god.
Okay.
Absolutely.
He just fully
But
admits
that's
it.
not what I mean. You know what?
He just fully admits it. You cannot waterboard this information on me. See, this is my thing. He could have just hung up and deleted his channel, but he wanted to come back full force. Oh my god.
You know what the question is.
He was
going
like,
to be.
that people want me. I'm beloved. Like, you have to have such a strong amount of like confidence to like, I don't understand. Any normal person would be like, what the fuck? Let me delete everything I own. Let me delete everything on the internet that is about me. I have to get rid of my digital footprint.
Going to be next, though, right?
Have I pleasured myself?
Ew.
Yeah, that's one of them, and your answer would be what?
Yes.
Okay. And then the
have
little
no
girl, I mean,
plans.
I think she looks about 7 or 8. So you would
Mm-hmm.
pleasure yourself to the high school girls, and then you would get to the little girls, hit a like, and then move on to.
That's the most thing that that's the thing that it irks me because I'm on Instagram all the time, so 100% he would whack it. Or yeah, and then he probably just laid there scrolling through Instagram through the tag, because if you press the tag you could get all the posts of genies, so he's probably seeing like all these girls and like teenagers, and he just he just keeps scrolling through and likes it. Like what are you doing? You can't at least like, why do you have to like it? You can't like secretly save it. Like there's a save option. Why would you like it publicly? That's so fucking weird. Even if you're not whacking it, why are you liking pictures of little girls in genie costumes? That's really weird to me.
To find something else, or that's what the question's going to be. So, but like, why? Let's do the mock interview.
I guess I don't understand, Eel. You're right.
Here. Why would you take the time? Why would you even like something like that while in a state of arousal?
Exactly. Why would you
Because
like
in my
it?
bullshit thought process, which is exactly what is bullshit. I'll be like, she'll appreciate a like. Oh, it's not cute, I'm being nice.
Why?
Like, so say you had a girl.
Why would they care if some bald guy they've never ever met likes their picture on Instagram? You know what they're gonna think? They're gonna be like, wait, I tagged this like genie, I tagged like this with other stuff. Why is this random person like just looking at my pictures and like it? Like, usually you put hashtags so you get likes, but why would you just be like, oh, this random bald guy who found my picture of a kid means well? Like, it's just weird.
Girlfriend, and she came in.
Exactly.
I don't know. She came in
Yeah.
unexpectedly to your house, and
Ew, he's like, well, this one helped, and he likes it. That's so gross.
you were
Ew.
on the TV and you
Gross.
were watching Pornhub, which totally normal for an adult to be watching that kind of material. But
Do people watch porn on their like TV? Is that a thing? That's like so risky. I mean, I guess if you live alone, I'm sure Jordan, he had videotape, so I know he did. Yeah, okay.
then in the picture,
But like, could you imagine like just putting Pornhub on the TV, on the big screen TV? That's funny.
you had like Little Miss Perfect or one of those kiddie pageant shows on
It's
in a picture.
Jordan comedy.
And she said, "What are you doing?" And you said, "Well, I was watching some porn, but then I also wanted to give the Nielsen rating to this show, so I had it open in a box on the bottom." Do you think she would believe that?
Need a small
No,
little
I don't think
apartment.
so.
Yeah. So how believable does that sound to you when you say, yeah, I was in the middle of pleasuring myself, but then I saw this little girl and thought, you know what, I'd give her a like. She went out of her way to dress like a
Ugh.
genie and do a little dance routine or whatever.
So weird.
So I would probably work on that one because I don't know if that's going to be sufficient.
Oh, does anybody have like a picture of his apartment so I could like look at it while I make this thing in The Sims? I understand it's like blank. Doesn't he have like a couple instruments and like a shelf full of genie bottles?
That's
I think I can make it work. There's some like sort of bottle items in the game.
Wes, real talk, as Chef says. The problem is, I know I'm telling the truth,
Mm-hmm.
but the way things are, in the context, it looks like I'm guilty.
Yeah.
And I want to be as honest as possible. No,
Well, that's a good start.
poured out my blood and, pardon me?
No, that's a good start. So what would be the second question that you were concerned about?
I think that's the main thing. I mean, everything else is going to be
I mean, well, there has
humiliating,
there has to be.
embarrassing.
Well, then that's it. What is your biggest concern at all? Is it that
He did that with Women Eel. Let's say he gets one woman over. The only time he's ever been able to convince a female to follow him somewhere. He brings her over. They sit down. She's like, okay, I could try this. Whatever. And he's like, you want to watch something I did back in 1990s? He pops it in. And she's like, what? 100% he's probably done that. Well, that's if the girl came over anyway. But I believe he would probably do that. And he probably watches it back on his laptop. No, he has to watch it back because he did like that. He did the behind the scenes thing, so he goes back and listens to it, like a little. I don't know, like he's so like vain. I think
that
he thinks he's funny.
is it further
I don't know.
humiliation? Is it? I mean,
Well, what would you call this humor? It's not funny at all. Like, it's only funny because it's embarrassing. You know, you gotta laugh at it because it's just like, wow, this person really thinks that, you know. And I'm not like no comedy star either. I don't think I'm like funny. I'm not gonna be like, oh, I'm so funny. Like I would never. I don't know. I think he genuinely thinks that he is a funny person, and I don't know why. I don't know what kind of humor he thinks he has.
what is it that worries you the most?
His humor is kind of like, he makes fun of other people, like, oh, women just joke about sex. Like, dude, your entire thing was sex. Like, everything was about how you get women. And how you're, quotation mark, alpha. I don't know.
Because you've already done stage one, which was the apology. So what is it that worries you most about this next part when you're going to get on with many syllables? And I'm sure she's going to ask you some questions that are hard to answer. And you know that shying away from those would probably be the worst thing to do. So
Yeah.
let's ease you into that. So give me some examples of...
Thank you.
Oh, absolutely. Give me some examples of questions that, are going to be hard.
You know what, I'm sorry, I know. He is very funny. I apologize. I don't know why I said that. He's a comedic genius. Comedy. Jorn Comedy.
to answer. They're...
Also, what a stupid name. Jorn Comedy. Like, I know that's the point. Like, oh, this is my comedy channel. It's just dumb.
Are there
I don't
certain
know.
people
It's dumb.
that you don't want to be addressed, or was there anyone that you feel was maybe left out of the apology that you would want to address with her while talking to her?
I don't think so.
Mhm.
Honestly,
Okay,
as far as the
hold
work, first, if I can just give you an update. I got contacted
Look at this
by
outfit.
the social worker who's got the master's degree. He
Okay.
talked to me. I just finished scanning his documents and sending it back to them. So I am going full speed ahead ASAP with getting into counseling.
So that was
I
going
wish
to be
you
my
could
question. Is there
stretch
going to
the
be,
head out.
an apology part two where you kind of show that, because we discussed it, and a lot of these guys on TCAP would say, well, I was looking into getting therapy, and maybe now I need to. What was the teacher? What was that jackass's name who drove the Corvette? He was talking about, oh yeah, well, maybe this is kind of the kick in the pants I need to push me that direction. But then there's never any follow-up with it. And if you watch,
Right.
if you watch some of the, the predator catching channels on YouTube, there's one of the guys. God, I can't remember the name of it right now. The dude's name is Neo, but he said, like, you want me to take your video down? Contact me. He gives them all information on how they can seek help in their area, and he says, contact me after, and show me proof that you're trying to get help and you're taking this seriously, and I'll take the video down. So what would you want if someone was if like say Mackenzie or Mac and Cheese or Mackenzie Cheese, whatever, if Mac and Cheese were to contact you and say, I'll remove the Google Drive if you do blank, what would it be? Like, what would you be willing to do? Would you make a second apology where you're showing the progress that you're making, or what are you willing? Because that's another question I'm sure you'll be asked: is what is the ultimate end game for you, and how would you like this to end?
I definitely like the idea of an update video sometime in the future saying, I have been getting counseling. These are the steps I've taken. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
I would not shy away from that.
Okay. And so, yeah, you'd be willing to update the people on your progress as you go through with that, and I'm sure people would appreciate that. What is something that you don't, what would it be? What would make you want to terminate the interview, or what's going to really turn you off if you get asked about it? What's off limits?
I don't think there's anything, which is very easy to say because I have no idea what's coming. Well, not no idea, but I would think of from
any.
What she's.
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
From what she's told me, it sounds like she wants very much to be impartial and fair. It's not a shock interview where she's going to sandbag me. She's going to try to be let's say, Mr. Spock-ish, even while she, of course, has her own feelings, of course. I really want to do this. I will tell you, I have been going through thoughts of completely terminating and closing my YouTube account. I'm very glad I did the apology, and I'm glad I'm doing this interview. What happens after that, I would wish...
Yeah, Eli, I know his beard is so patchy, but there's not in The Sims, there's not real much option to make it look like that. I wish there's a spray painting option. I could just spray paint it. Oh my god, I would love that.
That has never get talked about again, but that's not super realistic.
I mean, I guess there's
So if she asks you,
I would hope that people either leave me completely in my life and hate me, or reach out in a practical way.
Bruh.
If she asked you a hypothetical,
be prolonged.
If she asked you a hypothetical,
blue eyes
what
are
would you be willing to do to make this all go away and never be spoken about again? Do you have an answer prepared for that? Because people love asking hypotheticals.
I absolutely don't.
Oh yeah, you gotta.
I absolutely.
I know, Wes. I can't edit the head. I thought you could. I thought you could make it elongate it at the top, stretch it out. But I thought you could. I guess you can't. I don't know if maybe it might be in The Sims 3, but I have The Sims 4.
You gotta get those hypothetical. That's almost like
I
being
want to squish
asked,
it down.
where do you see yourself in 5 years at a job interview? You've got to have the
You know what? Maybe I could do that.
ready. So let's test that one.
There you go.
I'm many syllables. Jorn, what would you be willing to give in order to make this all go away? If you could snap your fingers, and for lack of a better term, make a wish and make it all disappear, what would you be willing to do?
I haven't thought of that. The main thing I've thought about is counseling, so I can change myself.
I know, Billy the Kid.
Future,
I need some Jordan CC to make it look like him.
Everybody the way they should be treated. Basic human decency.
Yeah, that's not really an answer to the question. That sounds kind of like a candy.
I don't have an answer.
Well, that's why we're doing this, Jordan. That's why we're doing this, so you can come up with an answer. What would you be, if that question is asked, you can't say, well, I'm going to counseling. It really does sound like a canned answer.
His eyes are more like ghost
I haven't thought that far into the future, Wes.
Like a
All right, well,
ghosty
Jordan,
blue.
I haven't thought past today.
Yeah, that's why we're doing this right now. You know,
No,
I'm
I
trying to
like
help
this.
you out here.
Like
So,
that, almost?
if she asks you that question, what would your answer be?
Oh, there you go.
Because just going to counseling isn't going to make it go away and any of those other things. I know you mentioned,
You can't make them a stalker real, but there's a jealous trait, and the jealous trait makes them like, if someone comes around someone they're talking to, they get like really angry, and they argue and they fight. It makes him really like spiteful, so we can put that on him. There's also like a lazy trait, a gluttonous trait, I think. There's like a gross one. There is a bunch of mods. Yeah, there's a stalker mod, and there's like a murder mod. I don't remember if there's any genie clothes. I'm sure there is, but I don't know if I have like the pack that has it. I'd have to check.
not wanting to get rid of your
Maybe I should make him like a genie neighbor who hates him.
of your YouTube channel, and that's understandable. What is your plan with that? What if that was the hypothetical, Jordan? Would you, if you knew that deleting your channel would make this all go away, would you do it? Your answer would be what?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
And deleting all and never having another channel, getting rid of the music channel, just completely being gone from YouTube. Jordan, would you trade that for making this all go away?
That would suck incredibly. I would hate to do it, but I'd do it.
Okay, then let's practice another question. Okay, how about this one? Jordan, why would you think, after the things that you've done, that you would be able to come back to a community that actively trolls and hates on people who sexualize children?
I don't think.
You don't think? I don't. What does that mean?
Pardon
like
me.
a statement, or?
No. It is. If you already know me.
I don't.
But
I
don't
don't.
think that they should want me around or
Oh my god, that's so
welcome me with
embarrassing.
open arms.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't proved myself to have the right integrity.
I should just put him some eye bags.
I have no problem with people who dislike me for the good reasons.
Okay, thank you.
Not trust.
Hold on.
Okay. All right. And I don't want to take too much of your time, because I know you guys are supposed to get on the phone in 10 minutes here. But another question that may come up is, now that there are comparisons being made between you and Lauren Armstrong, what are your thoughts on that? And again, I was acting as a...
They glued hair to him? Oh my god. That's actually really funny. Yeah, that's exactly what his hair looks like. But the Sims does not give him...
many syllables.
We need that CC content.
When asking you that question.
Wow, I actually have an answer for that one.
Wow, I
perfect.
have an
Well,
answer for
let's
that one.
My answer is I want to be as unlike Lauren
There's like
Armstrong
no
as humanly possible.
Well,
And-
let me interrupt you there. Lauren wants to be unlike Lauren Armstrong as well. No one wants to be that.
Correct.
Oh.
So I would, I would work
Gross.
on that intro.
Ew, this is gross.
Lauren doesn't want to be a liar. He just needs to figure out why. Lauren doesn't want to
Rootin'
be
tootin'.
a lot of things.
You know what, this kinda-
he doesn't want to smoke.
Kind
He just
of.
needs to
Not really,
blah
but...
blah blah. So I would work on that
Right.
opening a little bit. But yeah, continue. So let's ask the question again. And again, I'm many syllables. Jordan, now that comparisons are being made between you and Lauren Armstrong, what are your thoughts on that? Looking back at your old content, of course, what are your thoughts on that now?
I think there were times where I was way too close to thinking
Yeah, you're literally interviewing him for the interview.
and acting like Lauren.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to do my very best to change and get counseling and, most importantly, not run away from responsibility and to take blame, stuff that Lauren has never done. That's the best way I know of to not be like Lauren, is to admit there's a problem, to face it head on, take responsibility, and do the hard work to change.
All right, and let's do one more before you hop off here to get on that call. Now, you brought up your Christian upbringing in your apology. Can you explain why that was relevant? And do you think maybe any people who identify as
Hi, Clem. Yes, I am. Yes.
Christian
I tried
or
my
religious
best.
in any way would take offense to that?
This is probably as good as it's gonna get. I'll add some glasses.
I don't think they would take. I haven't contemplated a way that they would take offense to that.
Well, maybe by saying, kind of like how Lauren was raised by Ma, you were saying I was raised by Christ, so I should have known better. But maybe some people will look at using religion in an apology video as a kind of a cop out, or I maybe feel sorry for me, or you can relate to me because I'm a religious person, and is that going to be your next step? Like, well, I've accepted Jesus or Vishnu or whoever into your life, and now you're.
I'm tried to make him as unappealing as possible, but it's kind of hard unless you have like. I wish I could make the dent in his head.
Going to be this better person. So, what would your answer be to that? Regarding people and being raised religiously.
He looks like a creep, though. Looks creepy.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to ask if you thought maybe that wasn't the best idea for the apology video to include that. Or...
Oh boy, I don't know. I don't know. I do dislike people who name check Jesus or anyone else. It's like, see, I'm because obviously the predator is like, no, I could not have done this. I worship blah blah blah. But I just wanted.
He has a
to give
fatter head than I thought. Hold on.
My background and how
he has
I
a very
was
fat
taught.
head.
Mm-hmm.
And
there you go.
I was foolish to ignore the great advice I was
Honestly,
given.
he probably would look better as an elder.
Well, I would ask this: if you were able to ignore
Okay.
that and sexualize high school girls and below, would you say you were ever actually religious, or were you maybe playing religious?
I was. I've changed quite a bit over the past 20 years. In some ways good, in some ways not.
Mm-hmm.
But I was very, very super religious up till at least 25, and I still have parts of me that are spiritual. For what it's worth, you personally, I've been praying quite a bit today.
Mm-hmm. Praying?
Well,
seriously?
That timeline when you're saying...
Squeak, I'm trying my best. I'm trying. I tried. I mean, he looks gross. Looks shriveled up a little bit. He got a fat head. He's got a very... especially in that, in the mortician video. He's got, like, that big, giant head. Ooh, okay. I think he's kind of ugly now. Oh my god. I didn't realize how fat you can make their heads. Okay.
Until 20 years ago or whatever, is that going to match up to things that are going to be found online?
Yeah.
Yeah, so everyone will see that. There was nothing inappropriate or untoward towards women or genie fan fiction or anything like that written prior to kind of when you broke away from your religious ideals and teachings.
Well, the two timelines are exactly the same, so that is absolutely true, because I didn't even get online the first time till 1997, and within a year of that, I was out of the church.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, that's probably an interesting story to tell all in itself. So maybe you should, consider that in the future for content along with the fasting stuff. And then one last one. What would you rate if you had to rate? Because I've heard this asked before. Looking back over the last 16 hours.
I think I made him, guys. There he is.
If you had to rate the apology video, what would you give it today?
I would give it a 9.
Okay.
And
that's
9.
on the scale of 1 to 10?
A 9.
Yes.
All right.
Now, my original one, without your help, much lower.
Okay.
But the one I put out at the end, where
much
I really,
lower, but still a 9.
You really left it all, left it all on the field.
8.5.
your coach wouldn't be yelling at you because you left them out there. You put it
No,
all on the field.
no.
All right.
Wow, I actually have something to be happy about. Yes, I'm happy.
No, yeah, absolutely should be happy about that. Oh, and do you have a joke or anything like that to lighten the mood, or if one's asked for, do you have anything
Oh, what
at
the
all?
fuck? And he's gonna say yes to this.
Because you are a comedian, so
That's
that is
a great one. I had
A
two
great
quotes,
one.
but honestly, I was like, what if I start with a joke and people think I'm not taking it seriously?
I think a joke is a great idea. Do you have one ready?
Okay. I was going to do two. I was going to do what should happen to me, maybe sent to an island.
Oh, that's perfect. What's
And
the
then,
other one?
Because I love Anthony Palumbo, if she says how I feel, I go, I relax.
I say you open with the Anthony Palumbo and close with the Sent to an Island.
Okay.
I think you're ready. Now get out there and play ball.
Yes, Coach.
All right. Yeah. We'll let's plan to talk after to see how you feel after the interview. And,
Yes, coach.
then get on with your day and work on those improvements.
Thank you, Wes.
All right. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, now I got the the interview. I need to turn off the music. Hold on.
Hey everyone. This video is an interview I had with a YouTuber that was recently exposed engaging in predatory behavior towards women and children that goes by the name of Jordan Comedy. I'm going to give a very brief summary of the situation to the best of my understanding. Sometime just prior to the 4th of July weekend, comments from a user named Mac and Cheese began appearing on TCAP community members' videos and live streams. The comments appeared to be a warning that someone in the community was engaging in inappropriate and predatory behavior towards women. People in the community began talking. No one had been specifically named in these warning comments, but there seemed to be a general consensus among community members that the comments must have been referring to Joran. On July 4th, Mac and Cheese released a video that confirmed everyone's suspicions. The video contained screenshots from a conversation that took place between a catfish and Joran, along with various social media interactions of his. The video was reported and removed so quickly that many people didn't even have a chance to see it in its entirety. Joran adamantly denied any wrongdoing and claimed that this was all just the work of a troll that catfished him, who was now exposing private sexual conversations he had with another consenting adult. It wasn't long before a Google Drive link began circulating that contains all of the screenshots that were in the video, along with other evidence that contradicted Joran's claim of no wrongdoing. It turns out that Mac and Cheese wasn't a troll. They were a whistleblower. Several people came forward and shared uncomfortable experiences and unwanted advances from Joran. There is also evidence that he has an extreme fetish for genies and harem girls. And while under normal circumstances his personal fetishes would not be an issue or even anyone's business, this particular fetish revealed some glaring red flags. Joran had previously enlisted a female community.
Whoa, what the fuck? Oh, and there's like screenshots that's playing. This is on this is on Alpha Male Derek's channel, by the way. Oh, I didn't see these
pictures. It turns out that Mac and
pictures.
Cheese wasn't a troll. They were a whistleblower. Several people came forward and shared
God.
uncomfortable experiences and unwanted advances from Joran.
There was like a picture, I don't know if it was a Tumblr, but it was like a picture of family with genies or something, and he commented, "I can't see her shoes." Like, what the fuck? What the fuck, dude?
There is also evidence that he has an extreme fetish for genies and harem girls.
This is Tumblr, I think. What's sexier than slave Jasmine? Jasmine the Is he talking about like the 14-year-old Disney princess? Oh, Lord.
And while under normal circumstances his personal fetishes would not be an issue or even anyone's business, this particular fetish revealed some glaring red flags. Joran had previously enlisted a female community member to play a role as a genie in what he called a comedic sketch. As it turned out, the role was extremely sexual in nature, and he had conned her into unwittingly role-playing a sexual fantasy for him. This wasn't an isolated incident. Other women in the community were used and objectified in similar ways. Screenshots show several instances of him objectifying and sexually harassing various women online in genie-themed costumes. And to everyone's horror, he had also liked photos of young children in revealing clothing and positions from genie.
I linked it because there's screen. I'm sure it's in the drive. I don't have the drive though. The link to the drive. I think it's in the COD Discord, I'm pretty sure.
Themed dance recitals and performances.
I mean, I only looked at like the Instagram thing. I did not see like the rest of the screenshots. That's interesting.
After a lot of resistance, when confronted with this evidence, Joran admitted that everything that was exposed is true. The community's reaction was understandably shock, anger, and disgust. This man had infiltrated a community that is predicated on exposing and criticizing sexual predators and people who victimize children. And yet here he was engaging in that exact same behavior while exploiting its members. On July 6th, Joran released an apology video and agreed to do an interview with me to address some of the questions that the community had. Initially, he wanted to be able to review the questions ahead of time and do a...
This just tells me, I mean, you already knew this, but he was a porn addict. Because he's talking in comments like it's a porn video. Oh, I can't see the genie's shoes. Oh, don't you guys think that this girl would be a cute slave? Like, nobody says that in like a in like a open space, unless like you think that you're surrounded by people who think like you, which would be like a porn site or something. Like, what the fuck?
dry run rehearsal.
And also the comment about that he left on Molly's like thing, that told me 100%, like, this dude is so porn addicted, like, he just thinks with his dick, like, that's it.
I didn't feel that this was
a normal person wouldn't do that.
appropriate, and in the interest of integrity and authenticity, we agreed to record the interview without any rehearsals or previews of the questions. The following interview is intended to give the community some answers and is in no way intended to defend or advocate for Joran or his behavior.
I'm going to dive right in and start asking these questions. I just want you to answer them as openly and honestly as possible.
Okay.
All right. It's been exposed that you've liked pictures of young children dressed up and dancing as genies. And it's also been exposed that you have a kink or fetish for genies. Do you think that that behavior is acceptable?
Not at all. Indefensible.
Did you think it was acceptable when you were doing it?
The lie I told myself was, I'm putting a like on the picture of a little girl, I'm quote unquote supporting her.
Did you like pictures of girls other than genies? Or was it usually just genie content that maybe you came across?
You're referring to children?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
No, there were none others.
Okay. Have you ever interacted with anyone underage online, whether they initiated contact or you felt it was innocent or not?
High school girls, yes.
Do you care to discuss any of that, or? Can you give some insight on that? Was it, did you feel it was innocent? Were you being flirtatious, or how would you describe it?
Let me think. I've been doing this so long that I want to make sure that I can, I've definitely commented on videos. I've definitely commented on pictures in a flirtatious way. As far as going any farther than that, I have not. But to me, that's bad enough. And I very much don't want to, take the first step on a path that leads to something really bad. And
sure.
I think my foot is already on that path by me even doing that.
Of course. So are you saying have there ever been any private conversations with these high school age girls, or has there ever been back and forth?
Oh my god, I was on mute. My bad. I was just saying, what was I gonna say? Oh, that he was probably the first person to ever type that you can't see the genie shoes. And also, I made the sim want to be a joke star. This sim wants to tell jokes and become a famous comedian. And he just admits it. About the underage girls, he just admits it so nonchalantly. It's crazy.
In those comments, or has it mostly been you making a singular comment and not getting a response?
It's mostly been singular comments.
Has there ever been any kind of, private conversation with someone who was underage?
In my 20s, yes.
Was
In
that
my
a
20s.
frequent thing? Did you feel
What
it was
the
wrong at the
fuck?
time, or was it more so, I feel like we're close in age and maturity level, or do you want to elaborate on that at all?
I definitely felt like we were close maturity-wise.
Okay.
So, okay. Bro.
Are you sexually attracted to, or have you ever been sexually aroused by children?
No.
Not even when they're in, the genie costume. And I'm asking that just because, that is a very specific, a lot of times with kinks and fetishes, it's more so around the object than it is the person. And so if you were viewing children who are dressed up in these genie outfits, it would be reasonable for someone to assume that you would be sexually aroused by that. So are you saying you were never sexually aroused by any of the pictures of the children?
Correct.
Okay. Why did you like those pictures? I know you said it was the lie you told yourself was that you were supporting them.
Yeah.
Do you think that it was anything beyond that? Do you think that
The lie you told yourself, that's such...
is your genie
such a good
fetish
point.
so overwhelming that you're drawn to that, even whether it's a child or not?
Yeah, what? He's just freely admitting, like openly admitting that he groomed someone, okay? Because if you're 20, you're dating an underage person. Like, are you talking? He said that they were mature in age. That is exactly what a groomer would say. That is exactly what people say when they're grooming you. Oh, we're just mature in age. You're so mature for your age. And if that's true, which it has to be, I don't think he would admit it otherwise. That means he's ragging on Lorne for trying to seduce and assault a child, when he himself was probably grooming someone. It's like these people just want to they want to project on someone else because they know that they've done well. He wants to project, but I also think he doesn't think what he did was wrong.
Gotcha. I would be scrolling through Instagram, searching specifically for that. And when it was women, I would absolutely say something inappropriate. And never with children.
Did you ever feel anything inappropriate with the children, whether you acted on it or said anything or not?
No.
Have you ever fantasized about anything involving children or viewed any type of child pornography, even if it's not young children, even if it's, older teenagers?
No.
If you had to guess, how many photos of underage girls do you think that you've liked or commented on, inappropriately or otherwise?
That long sigh.
As far as liking, that was actually pretty rare.
Okay. Have you ever saved photos of underage girls at all? And even not just underage girls, have you ever saved photos of people who didn't know that you were saving their photos?
Yes.
Bruh.
Have you deleted all of those at this point?
That's so weird. That's so weird.
Everything is gone.
Completely from your hard drive? No, there's no record of it whatsoever.
Gone.
You can't access it anymore.
Nothing whatsoever on my hard drive.
When you saved those pictures of people without their knowledge, did you feel like you were violating them in any way?
I didn't. At the time, I absolutely did not.
Do you feel now that you were?
Yes, absolutely.
Do you believe that you respect women?
Not enough. Not enough. I've had this dichotomy in my head where I'm a good person because I have female friends, because I'm good to them, but it's been a very split in my mentality where I'd be like, it's okay for me to quote unquote flirt, which wasn't flirting at all. It was sexual harassment.
Yep.
But would you say, do you feel respect for women? I understand that your actions certainly contradict that, but do you feel that you respect women in general? Like, do you feel that you have feelings of respect towards women?
Yes,
because,
absolutely.
And I'll just point this out because I'm sure someone else may hear this. When I asked you about if you respect women, you said, well, I feel like I kind of lied to myself and said I did because and you're talking about you. You're not talking about how you feel about women.
Gotcha.
So Do you feel that you respect women in general?
I definitely believe that they're equal. I've expressed in the past admiration from certain people for certain people in the community, and quite a bit in my real life. Genuine admiration.
Sure. Do you think that all women, do you view them solely as sex objects?
No.
Okay. Have you ever had conversations with women that weren't sexually charged, or is there always some level of flirtation there?
I have definitely had conversations with women that were not sexually charged.
Would you say those are frequent or few and far between?
In general, and again, this is me.
That lady who plays the genie looks like the hot mom from The Grinch. No, is she a mom? I don't know. The snobby lady looks like her.
Explaining and not excusing my mentality. But in my mind, oh, she's married. I don't do that. Oh, she's in a serious relationship. Oh, I don't do that.
Have you ever been called out or confronted for inappropriate behavior with women before?
In person, no. Online, I've definitely had women call me out for comments I've made about them.
Sure. Do you want to elaborate on any of that?
Just hearing him say this, it makes me so scared for the people that he had to work with, like massage. Like, could you imagine him touching you? Like, oh, I just can't imagine. It's just, ugh. I hope none of them found out. It's just like, you don't want them to find out about this, but like, ugh, it's so creepy. Because imagine, I don't want to think about it.
I've definitely
an example.
I've had times on Instagram where I've said something sexually suggestive, and a woman is just like, "Don't treat me like a piece of meat," or called me a name that I deserved, and in general.
And I bet he would get pissed at that because he thinks that he deserves like women, like ugh.
Express repulsion by my words and actions.
Sure. Has it ever gone beyond that, or mostly just direct responses to something you've said and it doesn't go any further than that?
Correct. Yeah, just direct responses.
Okay. Have you had
Yeah, that's her, Wes. That's the lady from The Grinch. They do look alike a little bit. I love that. I'm sorry. I love The Grinch. It's funny.
successful relationships and friendships with women in the past?
Yes, many times.
Do you find that communication is sometimes an issue with you and women?
No.
Have you ever had...
Oh, the owner didn't care. I just would hate to be... the people who went in. Ugh. Like his clients. Ew, gross.
The police involved because of your behavior with women or any issues at work?
No.
Okay. How did you find out about the TCAP community?
I was, do you want a long answer or a short answer on that one?
Whatever is the truth.
Well, why are you asking that? Just,
why
didn't you just answer the question, dog?
I originally found a channel called Down the Rabbit Hole, which got me into Chris Chan. And from there I started researching Chris Chan. I found Bay Shaman. I had never watched the original To Catch a Predator. I didn't have a TV at the time. I had heard about the show. I saw Bay Shaman's
sound.
videos about him, parody videos, The Mask, what have you. And I was curious. I listened to a little bit of the Holy Lornography, lost interest, and then many months later I found a channel called Danknet that did a great comprehensive history of the Church of God. And then after that I resubscribed to Bay Shaman. And through Danknet and other things he discussed, the TCAPocalypse, I became very interested, listened to the entire Holy Lornography, and from then I was hooked.
Did he really? Do you think he listened to the entire thing? I doubt it. I mean, he barely knew anything about Lorne after that, so I doubt he listened to... I know he read some with Danny, but I doubt he actually listened to the entire thing.
Do you think that some of the sexual content in the community, even though a lot of it's repulsive, do you think that that attracted you to it at all?
Say again, please.
Do you think that some of the sexual content, the nature of the community, you know, a lot of the content making fun of Lorne and otherwise, there's a lot of, sexual content. Did that appeal to you at all?
No.
Why did you join the TCAP community? What appealed to you about it then?
I really like the idea that I could express myself comedically. Lorne, I hope this doesn't sound insensitive, but Lorne is the gift that keeps on giving for a content creator because one of my first thoughts...
I love that line because now he's the gift that keeps on giving for content creators.
That's what Lorne is. What is wrong with this guy? And the fact that it was just infinite material comedically, because there are so many things to make fun of him about.
You did nothing with it.
And obviously him being so quotable. So for me, it was very much the feelings I had with Chris Chan, which is it's a quote-unquote lolcow.
Okay.
And TCAP has always fascinated me because I would just look at these guys and go, what's wrong with them? Why do they not have some sort of interior...
He sounds exactly like the guy, I don't remember his name, is it Loverman Genius, who's like, oh, what's wrong with these sickos? Like, you know, he's talking to Chris, and he's like he's basically saying what a normal person would say about them, but he's there in the chair getting caught. That's what he sounds like.
Regulatory thing where they go, what I'm doing is disgusting. I'm going after 12, 13, 14, whatever age girls. And it's always been the psychological part that's fascinated me with is like and yes, some of them are obviously hilarious in their ineptitude, the way they dress, whatever. There's absolutely that. But there's been a lot of what's wrong with these guys, and that's just drawn me.
Sure. Do you recognize that a lot of your behavior has been extremely similar to Lorne and these people?
Yes. I have, pardon me.
No, go ahead, please.
In the past couple days, when I really looked at the Google Drive and the contents, and I saw everything I had done over the years in such a wide variety, my first thought is, oh my God, this is way too Lorne-like. And what's helped me in general as a person, as I think it helps everyone, is being able to look at someone who is the best example of what not to be in a human being. And I don't want to even be slightly like him. And I was a lot more like him than I ever wanted to be.
Sure. There were a lot of parallels there. And do you think that maybe your hatred of Lorne might actually be because there are things that he reminds you of yourself, things that you don't like about yourself?
I would say no. As I said before, and I'll say again, I was very much excusing my behavior, thinking it wasn't a problem, making bullshit excuses for my behavior.
Sure.
Complete bullshit.
Did you view the TCAP community as an appropriate place to target women for your own sexual gratification or flirtation?
I have always been a flirtatious person, and I absolutely started right away flirting with members of the community.
Sure. Did you feel that was appropriate?
Again, going back to my mentality is if they flirt back, it's okay. Now I say, wait a minute, if someone's not flirting back, they could be anything from angry, humiliated, worst of all, expecting some sort of retaliation from me. And I'm like, oh shit, this is not right at all. My thinking is fucked.
So would you say then when you did it at the time, you felt it, you didn't think it was inappropriate, but now you do?
Yes.
Okay. Can you describe your thought process when you took advantage of by having her unwittingly fulfill a kink fantasy role play for you?
Okay. So I had written the sketch that she enjoyed, and she said, all right, I'll do that.
She enjoyed? Bro.
I very much made the character sexy. And I said, well, you know, it's going to go good comedically because if I can just, is it okay if I bring up some of the thought process about writing? Or
Sure.
do you think it would be?
Sure.
Okay.
No. You bring up whatever I mean, it's important that you're honest here. So if that's part of your truth, then tell it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So when I was writing...
Jordan would have been better off just admitting he didn't know what he did was wrong and looked stupid that way instead of telling people what they wanted to hear. I think the thing is, like, he's so stupid, because if he had just been like, yeah, what I did was wrong, it was fucked up, I'm gonna delete my channel. That's all he could have said. Would have been over. But he wanted so badly to, like rebuild himself, or like, you had nothing to, like, you had sure, okay, 100 subscribers, that's good, that's, you know, you're getting views, I guess, you're getting, like, people reacting to your stuff, but, like, is it really worth it? Like, you just destroyed your entire reputation, bro, instead of just being like, what I did was wrong, I'm gonna delete my channel, and I'm not gonna come back, you know? There you go.
And I'm like, okay, I had seen, obviously I've watched so much Genie media my entire life. I'm like, okay, if she's one of these more modern ones where she acts like, what do you want, blah, 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 it's not going to have an effect on the audience. But I wrote her that way to make people watching it have a twinge of jealousy. Because if people are emotionally involved in anything, especially comedy, they get more involved. So I'm like, she has to be written too good to be true.
Bro.
And so I wrote her as too good to be true, comedically. Did I make her sound ideal and ideal to me? Yes. Absolutely. Did I make her say things that were very sexy to me? Absolutely, yes. And she had no idea that what she was recording was stuff that I found arousing. She had no idea at any time.
Right. Are you saying that it wasn't your intention for her to be arousing to you, that it just sort of happened, that when you gave her these roles to choose from, we spoke previously, and I believe you said you gave her 3 potential
Correct.
roles to choose from.
Yes.
And so are you saying that it was not your intention at the time to have her do something that would give you some sexual gratification?
I'm a little confused. Are you saying that I didn't write the role specifically for her?
No, what I'm asking is, when I asked that question, you explained that, you know, it was really more so about, you know, the community would find it funny and you were trying to appeal to an audience. So it sort of sounded like you were saying that it was just coincidence that you had her fulfill this Genie role. So when you asked her to do this, did you intend to get sexual gratification from it?
I knew that certain things that were going to be said by a woman was going to be a turn on for me.
Sure. And had you, prior to asking her to do this, had you expressed to anyone, that you found her voice very sexy?
No.
You had not expressed that to anyone?
Correct.
Have you expressed that since she did the Genie role?
Well, this is the first real uncomfortable question.
Not the one about the kids?
I've never found voice as attractive as other members of the community have.
That is such a lie.
So if there was a screenshot of you telling someone that you found her voice extremely sexy, would you be surprised by that?
Yes.
Because I'll be honest with you, I've seen it.
Okay.
I'm not trying to blindside you with anything, but I've seen you telling someone that you find her voice very sexy.
Thank you. I definitely
What?
find what she said to be very sexy.
Sure. I believe that this screenshot actually took place prior to her fulfilling the Genie role. And again, I'm not trying to pin you in a corner here, but I want us to maintain honesty and integrity here.
I appreciate that.
Prior to you asking her to fulfill this Genie role, you had expressed to someone that you found her voice very sexy. So that being said, do you think that it may have been more targeted for your sexual gratification than even you're willing to realize yourself at this point?
Yes.
Do you understand and accept that when you did that to her, you denied her the ability to consent to what it essentially amounted to a sexual act for you?
Absolutely.
Did you realize that at the time?
No. Telling myself lies again.
Sure. When she did this for you and it clearly provided you with some sexual gratification, did you feel it was wrong at all at the time, or did you just feel like, oh, this is no big deal, as long as she doesn't know, no one's going to get hurt?
I was just thinking of the reception of the video, people enjoying it, me getting more likes, comments, what have you.
Sure. But the sexual part, because I mean, I think we've pretty much established that you did get sexual gratification from the sex you did, right?
Yes.
So as you got that sexual gratification, was there ever a point where you felt, hey, I'm wrong for doing this, or this is kind of skeevy of me? Or were you just like, what people don't know doesn't hurt them?
At some point after I did it and it was uploaded, I absolutely did feel that what I did was wrong.
Sure.
Because she's been nothing but a kind friend to me, and I was using her.
Yes, you
absolutely. Moving on from, there's a video that had put out, and it was a non-sexual video, and in that video you made a comment where you timestamp a point where you felt that her breasts were bouncing. What was the purpose of objectifying her body on that video? Like, what did you hope to achieve by that comment?
Nothing positive at all. Nothing positive. It was extremely creepy, extremely objectifying, and absolutely no. Excuse me. There's the tongue tightness. Absolutely no way to treat anyone, especially someone who I've considered a friend.
Sure, absolutely. But what was your intention when you typed that out? What was the purpose? What did you think would come of it? Why? It was
a quote unquote joke. Meaning I'm not going to defend it in any way. It was wrong.
Sure, of course. It's completely established that that's wrong. I don't think anyone could deny that. But I think what I'm trying to get at more is, what was your thought? Why? What did you get out of saying that? Because it's one thing,
yes,
to watch it and feel that, right?
Yeah.
What compelled you to A, tell people you were thinking that, and B, draw other people's attention to that specific moment of the video? What do you think? Did you feel that maybe if other people joined in, you would feel a little bit less?
When I discovered Jordan for the first time, I literally joined during July, or like a month before it, I think, and I was like, wait, is Jorn Lauren? Like, wait, who is this person? Because I was because their names sound so similar, and I was getting into Lauren, but then people started talking about Jorn, and I was like, wait, is this the same person? I was really confused.
That's creepy,
and if that wasn't enough confusion, the Jesse thing happened like a couple weeks after, and I was like, wait, what?
I don't know if that's a thought process at all. I'm just throwing it out there. Like, what do you think the purpose of drawing other people's attention to it and drawing attention to it at all was? Are you excited by, telling someone that you're checking them out? Or again, are you trying to bring other people in to make you feel better about it so you don't feel like you're, this lone creeper? Or what do you think your thought process there was?
That's an excellent question that I haven't thought about at all. It wasn't to get other people's attention. I think wow. Okay, I'm starting to actually shiver at this point in the interview. That's a good thing. That's my conscience.
Why? Why are you telling her that?
I think I was quote unquote being flirty, which makes me shudder at the very thought that I thought that was flirty. Oh, she probably likes the attention.
Okay.
Ugh.
Were you kind of hoping that maybe that would start up a little bit of a flirtatious rapport between the two of you, do you think?
Yes.
Okay. So that was almost sort of like a testing the waters pickup line.
Yes,
then,
absolutely.
In a way. Okay. Have you ever shared pictures of community members that were sent to you with anyone?
No. That definitely, because anonymity is.
Yeah, right. Cyber. That's so fucking good. It's so weird. Squeak. Clem, okay. This is the thing. I think it's like what Wes said. He likes the idea of having a woman trapped. That's what he likes. Like, he likes the control you have. And I don't think I've ever read or seen anything about a genie being a slave per se. Or did they say that in Aladdin? I don't remember. Not that Aladdin's like the like the thing about like the expert on genies, but like in that situation, I think the genie they wanted to use Genie as like a slave to grant all their wishes. That's what he likes. He likes the idea of keeping them trapped and them having to what's it called, make his wishes come true, I guess.
And so important to me.
He wants to like own a woman. That's what it is.
Did you share pictures of the catfish with other people before you found out she was a catfish?
Yes.
So at that time, you thought that you were sharing private pictures of a community member because you didn't realize she was a catfish at that point, right?
Correct.
So, not to call you out here, but so when you say you'd never shared photos of community members, sure, you can play a semantics game and say, well, she turned out to be a catfish. But when you were under the impression that she was just a community member who had shared private photos of herself with you, you had shared those private photos, correct?
I had shared them. I think the reason why I just answered is because in my mind, I'm not thinking of her as a community member because she was so new or something, which is not really a good excuse, but I thought of her as just the catfish.
So do you think that women in the community are somehow entitled to more respect than women who are new to the community?
No.
So why did you share those photos of her?
Yeah, dude. What?
Bragging.
It's so weird.
Trying to beef up your bravado and look cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Ugh.
Okay. The reason I sort of asked that is because, it's not quiet that this community is supposed to kind of be a safe place. There's a lot of people who come to our community who have been victims of sexual trauma, or just in general. A lot of women feel comfortable talking openly here. That's kind of the nature of the community, and the safe space is created, not just for women, for men too, for everyone.
All right, so I don't have like anything Italian, but we do have like this ice cream, and we could just say it's Italian ice. And there's Shin's koala right there. There you go. There you go. Here's a stage right here. I wish there's paper bags, but like the sim wears the paper bag, so I can't like put a paper bag over one of these bears. But, okay. I wish you could change the color. I want it to be like lemon. Okay, whatever. We'll just do blue. Right, it's so Italian. Okay.
Do you realize that you ruined that for some people, and all just because you wanted some sexual gratification?
Yes.
Oh, I 100% yielded. That's why I thought he did it, like for himself and to like share to others in his little like genie circle, whatever. Yeah, the thermostat's there. Squeak, it's right there. Hold on. Okay, there. It's right there in the shot.
What do you feel about that?
My mentality, why it was okay, which it absolutely is not. My mentality is she started the conversation by immediately sending me a nude. No, that's not correct. That's not correct. The nudes came later. She sent me a picture. I'll share it with someone else, bragging, saying, hey, look, so-and-so, I have a groupie now, blah, blah, blah.
I see. But in general, not just with the catfish, do you realize that a lot of your behavior has stripped away some of the security of the safe place for a lot of people?
Yes.
How does that make you feel now?
Terrible. I was going to say let them down, but actually betrayal is a better word.
Sure.
Betrayed their trust.
Yeah, definitely. You feel terrible now. When did you shift from feeling like this is fine and to feeling terrible?
I would say the most accurate moment to pinpoint was just as a little background. So I originally thought this was just the troll. Oh, it's the troll is now gone from being in my live stream to this, which was absolutely wrong. That's at least two different people. Okay.
Because I say that because, you know, this has been probably your whole life of you acting this way, right? And even after you were kind of confronted, you still sort of stuck to this, and you even, you know, had people help defend you. So that I'm sort of leading into that and asking, you know, when the shift, because, you know, I'm sure there's a lot of people who are going to say, well, yeah, it's real easy after you're confronted and caught to say that you feel terrible about it. Why did it, you know?
The best thing I can tell you, my aha moment was when the contents of the drive were shared with me, and I got to see everything and how many things there were over a number of years. It was just kind of like, as I said in the apology, you know, all the walls I put in my head came down. I saw all my excuses and what I was doing to people and how I was treating them, and the enormity of it all hit me like a tidal wave. I'm like, oh shit, I'm bad.
Yeah.
I've been a complete asshole.
Yeah.
There was no running from that.
No, there definitely wasn't. But, you know, when this first came out, and I hope you don't mind me referencing our conversation, just again, for the sake of integrity. When this first came out, I had initially asked you about it, and you claimed that, like, it was nothing. You had done absolutely nothing wrong. You're laughing at it because it's just a troll that was jealous of your popularity and how women flirt with you.
Yes.
I understand that you say that's what you sort of believed at the time. However, you know, when I was speaking to you, I was doing so from a very non-judgmental standpoint, and I was very politely saying, but do you think there's any validity to what they're saying about your behavior at all? And you were like, absolutely not. And you were completely trying to discredit them. Why is that?
In my mind, I absolutely thought that this was the same person who had been in my live streams and other people's live streams impersonating me for over a month. And I thought they're just trying a different tactic now. So I firmly believed that it was the same person trying a different tactic.
Sure, that's understandable. But, you know, if Charlie Manson says that I kick puppies, and that's still a true statement, it doesn't change the fact that I kick puppies, right? So I understand that you believed it was someone that was just trolling you and jealous of you. But what I'm asking is if you knew that some of what they were saying about your behavior was true, and there were people asking you, hey, is any of this true? Why were you so adamant about continuing to say, no, it's not true? And not only that, but go as far as to try to completely discredit them.
I was so much more worried about my reputation and avoiding humiliation than I was pursuing truth or trying to do the right thing. I was much more interested in damage control, getting rid of the video, flagging and reporting it. In the beginning stages, that's all I was really concerned with.
Sure. And
that was my motivation.
I'm sure there's some very humiliating stuff there. I can understand wanting to get rid of that. But what about even privately with some of the people who, you know, they were advocating for you even, or even myself? I definitely was never advocating for you at any point, but I feel that I was very fair with you.
Yes.
I was not judgmental, and I don't intend to just keep speaking about me. I'm only speaking about this because it's the only, you know, contact that I have direct experience with. You know, with you, I'll be honest with you. You know, I've noticed some problematic behavior with you before this even happened. You've noticed I'm often very, very, you know, playful and talkative with a lot of people. But I had already prior to this kind of shied away from you because I got a little bit of a bad vibe. I hope that doesn't offend you.
You're not the first person to have told me that in the past weekend.
Sure. So when I came to you, I'll just be honest with you. My intention was, I had good intentions. I wanted to help you realize that, you know, even if at that time I thought it was possibly a troll too, I didn't read all the content. But I was trying to see if maybe I could use the situation to help you understand that you make people uncomfortable. So I brought that up to you, you know, and I'm like, well, do you think maybe you have some repetitive behavior that makes people uncomfortable? Do you think it's an odd coincidence that even before this troll said your name, everyone said, oh, you must be talking about Joran? And again, you very much so just shut that down. It's like, no, it's just got to be someone who's jealous. There's absolutely no truth to it. I mean, you clearly knew at the time, even if you didn't realize how bad your behavior was, you knew that there was some validity to what they were saying. Why not, at least privately, to maybe not me, but other people who you're closer to when they're asking you about this, why deny it so adamantly?
I think I was doing the equivalent of covering my ears and going, la, 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 I can't hear you.
Sure.
Very much a denial, not wanting to experience humiliation, loss of respect. Yeah.
I mean, I guess I can understand that, and I'm sure other people can too, but why would you allow other people to come to your defense then? Why wouldn't you say, even if you didn't want to fully admit it, why wouldn't you just say...
That's another thing too. I would never, unless, like, especially if you know what you did, why are you telling other people to defend you? It's so weird. It's just so manipulative. Like, he's such an asshole for that. He should have just been like, I'll deal with it myself. Like, you guys don't have to get involved. Like, ugh. Those people are so nice. Like, people are so nice to him for... Oh my god, I feel so bad for them.
Hey, I've got this. Let me handle this. Don't bring yourself into this. Because, I remember even you telling me something along the lines of, I'm not going to let this troll win because too many people have reached out and they have my back. And, I'm not going to let them down. You acted like you had some kind of obligation to them as your fans, is I believe what you said. So why on earth would you allow innocent people to come to your defense knowing that at least some, even if you were not fully accepting at the time that your behavior was terrible, you knew some of it was true at the very least. Why would you allow innocent people to jump in and run to your defense and even help get the videos taken down?
The first day after the whistleblower revealed him or herself, I knew there was a video.
Clem.
I did not watch it. I got 10 seconds. I think on a subconscious level, I'm like this. I was just running and hiding from it. So I was talking to my friends. I'm like, okay, it's the troll. I'm sure it's the same troll. Cranking up to the next level. Please report. And that was my only thought process. Later on, when I actually started thinking, I was just like, wait a minute, there's things that absolutely don't add up. That means this is a different person.
Sure. I guess where I get a little confused, and I'm sure other people would have that same question too, is again, even if you're in unless you were just in complete denial and you really thought you never had done anything wrong ever, it doesn't. I'm asking, why would you allow people to rush to your defense knowing that there was at least a shred of validity to what was being said?
I would say it was complete denial. Complete denial. And it really was like a switch was flipped when I saw that drive. And I'm like, oh.
Of course, because
this is real.
You don't want to be...
What I've done is real. And the excuses I've used are bullshit.
You realize, like, oh shit, like, I am a creep. And only now it's bad because I've been caught.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I'm like, oh.
In that, when you were allowing people to come to your defense, I'm gonna talk about Danny here because she had your back. You manipulated her and others who considered you a friend into trying to cover this up.
Yeah.
Get the video removed through no fault of their own. Now, some people may view them as someone who is either complacent in or assisting a predator in covering up his behavior. Do you want to clear some of that up and explain that they were in no way involved and that you completely misled them and that they absolutely would not have supported your behavior had they known the truth?
Absolutely. Anyone who may have done that, I'm not sure I can remember specifically, but I believe Danny G, TCAP Recipes, probably wrote his Chew Tootsie, possibly, again, my memory, possibly Roy Me. Anyone who did that, none of them approved of the stuff I was doing. They all thought they were helping, or even knew about it. Not a one. Not a one. There was no, I have this confidant and they know secretly what I'm, no. All of them acted out of complete ignorance of my behavior. And
Sure.
they all thought they were helping a friend. Yeah.
And just to be
None of
clear,
them were
that's also
complicit.
because you manipulated them into that too by speaking to them and saying, yeah, this is all fake and they're, this person's a troll and help, right?
Yeah.
There was, not only did they not know, but they were also very specifically manipulated by you. Is that correct? Would that be a fair statement?
Yes. I have trouble saying just a blanket yes to that because I did really think that this was the same troll part 2. But at the same time, I want to clear them of all association with what I've done. Because they absolutely...
Sure. So when I say manipulation, even if you didn't really fully understand the extent of what you had done, I mean, intent, it doesn't always matter. There was very clear manipulation on your part, is all I'm saying.
Yes.
This is more so about, I think it's very important to exonerate these people. I think that most people understand what's going on now, but in case if there's one person out there who thinks or any of these people who were supporting you, were complacent in this and complicit in
Emphatically,
this in any way.
they were not.
Okay. Okay, I want to make sure that that's very clear.
Thank you.
Why did you ask the catfish if they were sexually aroused or attracted to predators, or about role play as these predators?
I believe the catfish mentioned it first about
He just lies there.
We started discussing To Catch a Predator. And I was curious if she found any of them handsome.
I could make
sure, I believe it was something. I think you brought that up and asked if they were aroused by any of them, and then I think you went into some role play saying it was like a humiliation thing. Is what I read, but why do you think that? Because from what I understood, I didn't see her initiate that.
Y'all, Jorn is freezing to death. He's freezing to death. He's gonna die. Okay.
And I can go back and read and double check if we need to pause, but it looked to be initiated by you.
I think you
God, he's dying.
Because she was telling me that she was attracted to Lauren Armstrong and she wanted me to role play him in a sexual way.
Mm-hmm.
There he goes.
I could be wrong, but I think that was after you asked her something like, I'm going to ask you an uncomfortable question or something. And
right.
Just that very first initial question, I believe, was you. And again, we can pause and I can go check. But honestly, it doesn't really matter. The fact is you did engage in the conversation.
Death is like, Genie, what the fuck? It's like, Jordan comedy. He's like, steer music?
Too.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
That seems like a very odd thing to ask someone. Why would you want to know if someone is attracted to or aroused by sexual predators?
I was curious if she found any of them handsome. That's about as far as my thought process went into that.
Sure. Do you know why you would want to know or care whether someone finds a sexual predator attractive? Because you have to admit that's kind of odd.
Yes.
It's not like, hey, do you find Brad Pitt attractive, or even the more gossipy, do you find anyone in the community attractive? That's a very odd. Why are you asking a woman if she's aroused
by predators
or sexually attracted to a sexual predator?
Death be like, I don't know what this little Genie thing is. Very confusing. Oh my god. Okay, since he died, I really want to show you guys. I finished the ranch, so I'll just give a tour of that.
I don't know.
Do you think it's at all possible that you realized maybe you had some predatory behavior and you were kind of wondering if they were, that might be something they're into?
No, I think it was just an interest. I was curious about their mentality. As far
what
as
mentality? What?
It was a very bizarre TCAP related way.
Hey Nate, we're listening to more lolcow stuff.
Way to get into a TCAP related question.
Sure.
Wow, that's very strange of me to ask.
Do you think maybe that was just like an awkward way for you to introduce some weird sex talk? Like maybe because there have been people in the past who, unfortunately, there are people who have been attracted to this community because it's a place where women, even though we're talking about how repulsed we are by it, it's a place where women feel comfortable openly talking about, the sexual content. So do you think that was just your way of sort of testing the waters and like, hey, I'm going to bring up it, but really all you really cared about was sex? Or, I mean, do you think that there's more to it? What are your thoughts?
I don't think there's more to it. The conversation was sexual from the very beginning to the very end. From her sending me a nude pic. I incorrectly said it wasn't a nude pic, but the picture was of her pulling up her dress above her waist.
Mm-hmm.
So the conversation was sexual from the moment she initiated it and pretty much stayed there.
Okay.
Sure. Do you think your fixation with genies is just like a simple kink, or do you think it's more of a fetish that has actually caused you issues in your life? I mean, clearly it's caused some issues here right now, but beyond this.
I am confused by your using kink as a separate thing than fetish. I don't know how you're defining.
Maybe I'm defining it wrong, but from what I've heard from others is, kink is just something you're into, right? It's this, I like this kinky behavior. Whereas a fetish is, I can't get off without this. And I'm very fixated on this and it causes problems in my everyday life. It affects my normal functionality. Not to say that people with fetishes always have problems in their normal life, but do you think it's something that consumes you more than it should and causes you issues? I guess how I'll ask you then.
You've changed the definition so much that I'm now completely confused, but I will give you an answer to the best.
Well, here, then, okay, let me re-ask it. Let me re-ask it because I realize I get a little rambly. Do you think that your fixation with genies, your sexual fixation with genies, do you think it's just a simple something that kind of turns you on? Or do you think it's something that is kind of deep-rooted and actually causes you issues with normal function in your life?
Yes to the second part. It is very deep-rooted. As long back as I remember, I've had a fascination. Sure.
And has it ever caused you any other issues? Like, I don't know, maybe like a girlfriend and you're bringing up genie shit and she's like, what's this about? Or even just something in your personal life. Has it ever caused you issues other than this?
Yes, it has.
Do you want to elaborate on that at all?
Yes, I believe women I was dating who I was otherwise a very good match for were not interested in that.
Do you feel that you ever pushed it even though they expressed that they were not interested in it?
Oh.
I would say pushed. Nothing overly dramatic. Lifetime movie, but nonetheless,
what the fuck
I kept trying to suggest it, and eventually it ended in the relationship ending. She goes, "Look, you have these desires that I do not have."
Sure. So it got in the way of you respecting someone else's sexual boundaries before. Would be a fair statement, yes?
Oh, sexual boundaries to me sounds too much like assault, so I would disagree with the wording. I would definitely say that I was trying to get someone to engage in something they didn't want to do, and as a result, they left, and it was the right thing for them to do.
Which would indicate that it was probably pretty persistent, right? It probably wasn't like a one-time conversation, like, hey, listen, I'm not comfortable with that. I don't want to involve that in our sex life, and then that was the end of it. It sounds like you were told, hey, I'm not comfortable with this, but you continue to persist, is what I mean by violating someone's sexual boundaries. Not that you held her down and forced her to put on a genie costume.
Okay.
Because Billy the Kid, I think these people like Jordan, they know that they're also like sex fiends, I guess. And because they haven't got... Well, actually, no, because Jordan did say he was dating to a minor. But I think it's the fact that he never got caught on TV for it, that it gives him, like, this sense of, like, oh, morally, I'm better than Lauren, so I could still hate on him. And I've never had a chat log with a child, so I'm good. That's his mindset, I think. In my opinion, I don't know. I'm not... that's what I think. He hadn't been exposed for anything he did, and in his head, he's like, there's nothing wrong with me. you know? But then people started catching up and they're like, yo, like, what is this?
When you mention you desire like this master-slave relationship, do you have an interest in BDSM and alternative lifestyles and all of the responsibilities that go along with it?
Yes.
Or is it specific to genies and only about your own personal gratification? That's really all you care about. You're just fixated on that. I've
been in successful relationships with people where there was definitely a master-slave vibe. And we clicked well.
Now I'm just going to
Could you imagine calling this guy master? I think I would... Ugh, okay.
Move out of it and say, you know, do you feel that you have apologized to everyone that you need to?
I have apologized to everyone that has come into my memory. But when I worded the apology in my video, because, again, my memory, I said, although I mentioned specific people that I can think of, I apologize to everyone, women as well as men, because a man, obviously I didn't come on to him or really get pushy sexually to the point of propositioning. But they had to watch that. They were probably uncomfortable. They probably had a feeling of violation. And so I really want to make sure I apologize to everybody.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Yourself included.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Why do you think it took this coming out and being confronted with it for you to even realize that this behavior is not okay? Because, I mean, a lot of this is very, very alarming behavior. This isn't like, oh, I didn't realize I'm a little bit more flirtatious than I should be. So why do you think it took something this extreme and humiliating for you to understand that this is not okay?
I kept brushing it off. I kept telling myself, I'll give you my exact mentality. If I had said something to a woman and she responded negatively, I just go, okay, she's just not the right one for me. Next. It's, if 3 out of 100 respond with interest and it goes there, I'll keep going.
Sure.
That was exactly what I felt. It was wrong, but in my mind, I just brushed it off. Okay, on to the next one. That's just how it is, which is bullshit.
Yeah. Do you think you have a somewhat dismissive and negative attitude towards women who are not receptive to your sexual advances?
Yes.
Well, Clem, Jordan died, so we can't put him on the horse. I would have loved to put him on it, but he died. I was going to put him on it, but then he died in the cold.
Yeah, I know there is a video that is, I think, still up, and a few people have noticed it. I think it's your Reverend video. In that video, I think you're talking about,
oh my God.
You're joking about what comedians are hacks. And I noticed you say something along the lines of female comedians who all they talk about is how men try to have sex with them. They're hacks.
And that's exactly what he did.
As far as the video goes, everything I did in that is a joke, but it was based on my time as a stand-up, seeing a lot of people who would stereotype themselves, be they the gay comedians, the black comedians, the white comedians, where they literally just focus on one thing and that's their entire act. And I have absolutely met women who their whole act is, guys want to have sex with me.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel that you're qualified to determine what constitutes a comedic act? Or is it just strictly personal opinion?
Well, everything I read is personal opinion, definitely. But I have seen this, and it's been brought to my attention that these stereotypes exist because I've seen them so many times, both as an audience member and as a stand-up comedian.
Do you think that the people you've apologized to should forgive you?
That's completely up to them. Right now, if I can be frank, I expect nothing from anyone. If people don't want me in the community, that's absolutely a prerogative. And I'm not looking to blame anyone or make anyone feel sorry for me. I just want to do the right thing, which is why I agreed to this interview. And I expect nothing from anyone. If they want to write me out of my life completely, that is their right, and I understand.
Do you believe that you should still be welcome in this community?
Not necessarily. I really would not blame anyone if they said, you know what, you violated our trust. As you said, this is a safe space. We don't want you around. That's fine.
Sure. Do you intend to continue to make content here?
The most honest answer I can give you is I have thought about nothing the past couple days other than doing the video, doing this interview with you. It is completely up in the air whether or not I will release anything else. I have absolutely no forethought. I did have a video that was ready to go. I have absolutely no forethought. I did have a video that was ready. I have absolutely no forethought. I did have a video that was ready to go. I absolutely don't know what the future will be.
Sure.
Exactly, Wes. His entire thing was like, oh my god, and I get women. Like, that's... You made fun of other people for stereotyping. Like, you did the same thing, though.
I just know it won't be sexual content.
What do you intend to do going forward, both in your personal life and here?
For personal life, as I mentioned in the video, I want to get counseling. To make that a reality, yesterday checked with my insurance, got a list of mental health providers. I was able to leave my number on a couple of them. I got contacted by one today. He sent me over the necessary forms. I signed them, emailed them back, and he should be seeing me in the very near future.
Okay. And anything else, or just the counseling, or any other plans?
That is the main plan, because I definitely have deep-rooted stuff, and obviously the things I've been doing for a couple decades. And as I said in my video, my best thinking got me here. And where I am now is not a good place. And how I'm treating people is not good. So I firmly believe that anyone can say, you know, I pinky promise I'm never going to do this, I'm going to change. Well, I need some new thinking, and I need perspective, and I want it to be from someone who is qualified to do so. And I am ready and willing to work hard.
Are you taking any steps to protect people from your behavior in the meantime, while you get this figured out?
I'm a little vague on what that question means, Minnie.
Yeah, he comes back with another channel. A week later! I bet he didn't even go to therapy. He pretended to. He's like, he Googled therapy, and then that's it.
You know, because you've violated, you know, people's ability to consent to sexual acts with you. You have liked very inappropriate pictures of small children. And as you said, like, maybe you have not yet been sexually aroused, but as you said, you may be taking the step in that direction. So are you taking any definitive steps to make sure you're protecting people from being further victimized by you while you get this issue figured out?
I'm not specifically sure how I would go about doing that. I can tell you I deleted a huge amount of files from my computer, besides the ones that would give me sexual gratification. All those are gone. Some video media, gone. I have had almost no conversations with anyone in the past couple days while I get my head together, as it were. And I have, that's what I've done as so far.
Sure. Are you going to take steps to make sure that you're not even exposed to children's pictures whatsoever?
Yes.
Especially within that, you know, genie-themed area?
I actually went into my Instagram and started deleting a lot of accounts I followed where viewing the woman would definitely be arousing to me. I mean, the thought of it makes me, you know, physically shudder.
Have you deleted, and I mean completely deleted, any and all content that has been inappropriate, or photos that you have saved without people's knowledge, especially here within the community? Have you completely and totally removed everything? No chance of you, you know, pulling a the audio that you have saved for some later date if you start to regress and you don't address these issues.
Correct.
Is there any chance whatsoever that you still have access to any of this?
The most honest and comprehensive way I can say is I had everything on a folder on my computer. I went through it with a fine-tooth comb because sometimes I really don't label things. And so even though I went through it the first time, the second time, some things that were not labeled, just a mishmash number, letter combination for the name, went through every file, and it is all off my computer right now. And yesterday I was just thinking, I'm all set. I've really done everything. And then I realized, wait a minute, I have Backblaze. So now I have to go through those and also make sure that it's all gone. Even if people told me yesterday, we like such and such, we like it to go back up again, it's not.
Sure. So it would be fair to say that it's possible that it is not all gone just yet, but that you are taking steps to make it all gone?
Correct. My only concern is anything saved on Backblaze. And if you would like me to get back to you later on tonight.
Yeah, he says I deleted accounts. Like, just delete your Instagram or something. Like, bro. What the fuck? Exactly, ew. What the fuck? Delete your account. Don't ever go on Instagram again. Jesus. Oh, thank you guys. Guys, when I hit 2K, face reveal. When I hit 2K, I'm gonna do a cover of a Last Christmas cover, face reveal, accent reveal.
Tonight or tomorrow,
works.
where I can say I've gone through Backblaze and it's absolutely gone, I'd be happy to do that.
Sure. I mean, I don't know that people will believe what you say, but it may give some people peace of mind.
Right.
So it's completely up to you.
I am not anticipating everyone will believe what I'm saying to begin with, and that's certainly their right, and they certainly have reason to feel like that.
Sure. Is there anything else you want people to know?
Mostly I want to apologize. I'll get a little philosophical here. The best thing about Lauren, right, is we're all better than him. As far as he's seemingly has no redeeming qualities. People have had fun talking about it intellectually, and I've enjoyed that. But in the past, when I saw myself acting a little bit like Lauren, it freaked me out and put me on a better path. Now that I've seen that I've acted quite a bit like Lauren in a couple areas, I want to run from that and that behavior as fast as I can.
Like, we don't know if he actually harmed a child. I don't know if he attempted to, but he talked to them. He apparently had a romantic relationship with them, because so you did, in a way, How many subs for an elbow? For elbow, that's gonna be at least 10K. So hop on that right now, okay? Hello, Diggle.
And that's why I started taking
this is almost
steps
over.
So quickly once I realized, I'm like, holy...
Oh, by the way, Rebecca and Billy are dating now. I couldn't stop them. They just did it themselves. Super cute. Okay.
Holy shit. This? I don't want to be like anything like this. And I'm not going to say, I never defrauded people out of tens of thousands of dollars. That doesn't matter. In this one category, I've acted way too close to him. And I don't want that to be me.
Sure.
At all.
Well, thank you for taking the time to answer these questions. I do appreciate you doing that.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, I think we have... What else? The last call? Hold on. The one that's after this. If I can find it. Here it is.
We are finally at the end. This was the last call with Jaron, a few hours after his interview with Many Syllables. Joran rates his performance, the performance of Many Syllables, and makes plans for his future. Will he be making a comeback? Once again, Westmost is a troll in this call. If that is not your thing, please skip this video. The date was July 7, 2020, the time was 4 p.m.
Hello?
Hey, how did it go?
Very good, considering. Very, very good, actually.
Well, that's good. Was anything new uncovered? Was she able to, shake anything loose that maybe you hadn't been fully transparent with before that's really going to assist people?
I don't think so. There were a few questions she asked me. It's like, wow, that's something I haven't thought about at all. But a lot of the questions, she said, why specifically did you comment the way you did on Molly's? And I was just like, there was actually a moment of, duh, why did I do that?
Mm-hmm.
But we went through, she was pretty thorough. She didn't ask me, would you take your channel down if that would help people. She did say, were you going to make more comments going forward? I said, I've been concentrating the last few days just on the apology video and this interview.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I've given no real thought to that. But she did not shy away from going deep, and I did not shy away either.
Okay.
The whole thing was actually done in only about an hour 15 tops.
Oh, she's good.
She's very good, and I didn't, allow me a small joke here, Wes. I did not blame things on Amanda James and mac and cheese.
Oh, well, that's always good. There was no Amanda James mac. How about meatballs?
Meatballs.
No delicious meatballs.
There's enough meatballs in that Google Drive, right? That was a little joke. So,
oh my God.
How would you, if you had to rate her, 1 to 10, what would you give her?
Her skills?
Yeah, as far as the interview, what would you give her skills?
Ooh, I'll say an 8 or 9. Probably a 9 would be more accurate. She was very good.
What would have made her a 10?
Ooh, probably rather minute stuff. Like she lost her place a couple times. Once I asked her to repeat a question and stuff. But yeah, she's really good.
Vavo, you missed it, but I made Jorn, and then he died.
Stuck with me as far as being impartial. I never felt as though she had an agenda. At the same time, she was direct, but not overly pressuring when it came to the difficult questions.
That's good.
And a couple times I'm like, okay, that question was long. Please cut it into 2 questions or rephrase it. And she did that.
So a strong 9.
It was fun as the... Yeah.
Oh, no, go ahead. What were you saying?
It would be absolutely incorrect to refer to it as fun, but I think if she interviewed me on a completely different subject, it'd be enjoyable for me.
Did you apologize?
Real skills.
What do you mean enjoyable?
Personally?
Yes, I did. Before and during.
That's good. How would you rate yourself during the interview?
At least
10.
an 8.
At least an 8.
Yeah, I was.
What would have made you a 10?
I'm probably the only thing is more preparation as far as, because I really did not think a lot about a variety of questions so that I could have in my mind. I realized there were some things semi-philosophically, only happened maybe 3 times, but where I'm like, wow, I haven't considered this specific thing, like the Molly thing, at all. That's a damn good question. But
now that she asked you that, so I know so you're saying you'd rate yourself about an 8, and she was a 9. So that's good. That's a 17 out of 20 overall. That's a more than passing grade. But now that you've had a chance to look back, are there any apologies that you made to maybe Tiffany Lockhart, Molly? I don't know who else you did apologize to, or were there any of those that you would redo, or would those still stand as is?
They would stand. Oh, one thing she said that was fucking brilliant. She says, how about the people who defended you as far as helping take the video down and stuff? Do you want to let people know that they absolutely were not in collusion? I said they acted completely out of ignorance of the situation, and I apologize to them specifically, the people who I know
Who was
had
that?
the video reported. Danny G, TCAP Recipes. I may have forgotten Euro. Rhoda, I think.
Oh, what role has has Euro? Because I know he seems to be pretty. I know you haven't been reading comments or anything, but it's good that you did mention those people, because that was going to be one of the things I didn't want to bring up prior to the interview. But those are the people who were probably feeling the most hurt in all this. Having comments made about you. I mean, the thing said about Molly was horrible, and that's what that's going to do, is make less people willing to show themselves on cam, and
yeah,
less
he's talking about this like, oh, it was a great interview, like dude, what the fuck? Who would be this enthusiastic about it?
people are gonna shrink back because no one wants to be judged.
It's because he thinks that this is over, that he could just make another Sex Tips with Dan video and post it the next day. That's what it is.
That or treated like that. But the people who defended you, who in streams were defending you and talking about this troll, and then they felt like they were missed on the apology. So it's good that you did that was brought up to you. And why do you think maybe you forgot that and you left them out originally?
I was so concentrated on people that I had hurt as far as objectifying them and stuff that I didn't even say, hey, wait a minute. People took down that video that should have been taken down.
Mm-hmm.
Because they thought, as I originally thought, that it was just the troll part 2. And I clarified in the interview that there were definitely more than one person. I used the term whistleblower.
You said it wasn't going to be a troll.
But I did.
Mm-hmm.
And that there was someone at an earlier time, because it had been going on for a while, where they would go into live streams, impersonate me, insult me.
Okay. Did you open or close with a joke like we had talked about?
I did not.
Did you change your mind?
I mentioned that to her, and she
you
thought it would be
imagine?
a bad idea, that people
Could
would
you
think that I
imagine
was
if you did?
taking things lightly,
Oh, okay.
not being serious.
Okay.
And I tended to agree.
Well, I know when we first spoke on Friday, your idea was to do an apology with some jokes. So I didn't know if maybe adding some a bit of lightheartedness to it would have helped you in the process. But she thought it would be a bad idea, and you went with it. So that's how do you feel about that now? Do you wish you would have done that joke or?
No, I think she was right.
Okay.
I didn't want any way people to think, there he is, a joke, not taking it serious, because quite a few people would feel like that. So.
Okay. Now I know you said earlier that your apology video.
Viral? No, I've not, but I will be looking that up now.
Hold on. Alexa, off. You said that your apology video, you would have rated it a 9.
Yeah.
And I know you haven't looked at any of the comments or anything like that. But now that you've had your talk with many syllables, what would you rate that apology now?
I would say, if not a 9, an 8, and 8 only as far as I should have, as she brought up in my thing, apologize to the people.
Right, Wes? Like, he kept saying, sorry I let you down, all this shit. Like, bro, the people who you let down are the people that you said that you labeled your friends, and you let them defend you, and you knew you were in the wrong. And then, like, you didn't... It's just really... He was trying to appease you, like, as if you had this magic power to redeem him, and, like, bring him back into the community, and everybody be like, oh, it's okay, Jordan, blah, blah, blah. Like, he didn't show any, like, actual, remorse for the people that he actually harmed, and couldn't, like, those people probably feel, like, terrible after. They're like, imagine you defend this guy, like, it would suck. He's such an asshole.
People who were helping me get the video removed.
Mm-hmm. Because what I think is because that was because it was brought up, are some people going to think, oh, it was just a self-serving apology to save face? He wasn't really apologizing, or he would have mentioned those people who.
Yeah.
As far as I knew, you and Chef are friends, and we're making plans to hang out and stuff like that. So some people are going to say, oh, you would think that would be the first people that he would, among the first people he wanted to apologize to. So if he didn't do that, it's because he was just looking to save his reputation. And what would your reply kind of be to that?
I would say what I just did to you, which was I absolutely did not think about how they were being mistreated, and not only that people would look at them, with a sideways look.
I don't think anyone is. That's the thing. I don't actually think anyone is. I think it was just a concern of theirs. They felt bad. So what would have made your apologies an 8 now, back from a 9 to 8? What would have made that a 10?
I honestly don't know. I'm one of those people where pretty much I never give anything the perfect score because I'm like, perfection doesn't exist. Honestly, with the rewrites that you helped me with and stuff with that last one, I'm like, okay, I have mentioned everything I can think of. I've been direct, and especially with that last line you gave me, I'm like, okay, this is not some guy trying to, sweep over things or minimize. This is boom.
Direct, yeah, no ambiguity. So, because that wasn't really an answer. What would have made it a 10 in your opinion? For yourself and for others, you can't think of anything. So then how can you give it an 8 if you don't know what a 10 is?
Exactly.
Okay. In that case,
it's like, how can you describe dark if you can't describe light? You know what I mean?
I honestly don't know. Maybe I should say a 9, and then what would have been the 10 would have been
viral. Oh my god, he kind of does look like that one ganado, whatever. When you first walk into the house,
mentioning those.
Apologizing to the people who had, that would have got it right where it should be.
Now that the mini syllable stuff is.
Oh my god, Jordan thinks he's like a Luis. He thinks he's Luis for sure. Like the Latin lover, a ladies' man. That's what he thinks he is.
And I mean, you got that in the can. You got your apology thing done. What's your next step as far as your channel? When do you feel like you'll be able to start making some content again?
I do not know. I have one video that I had planned to go. I have to make a decision if I even want to have a channel or if people want me to have a channel. By want, I mean, would support me.
Well, what do you want?
I don't know, Wes. I mean, I've loved it in the past. It's been a great artistic release for me, but it just seems so tainted now. Something I didn't mention to you, it's not a big secret or anything, but I took down my Patreon because I'm like, I don't even want people to give me money right now.
My Patreon.
So I said, let me at least take that down. And by that I mean, people being able to donate money to me.
No, yeah, I understand that. But what is it that you would want? When would you want, if it was up to you, when would you want to release this? What kind of video is it?
It's a original comedy song.
Oh, okay. When would you want to be able to release that if it were up to you?
That's something I have not thought about.
Yeah.
It gives me a, when will you wear wigs? Do you wear wigs?
Yeah. I know you have. Let's be honest.
Not really.
Sure.
What should I say, a week, a month? I mean...
you say the truth, but I know you've thought about it. You can't tell me you haven't.
Well, I would have deleted it if I didn't think about it at all.
Okay, but you just told me that you hadn't thought about it, so let's remain honest here.
Well, okay. Well, when I say thought about it, I mean I haven't thought of, it's going to be Wednesday, boom. I have not put...
But that's not what I'm asking. I'm saying if it was up to you, when would that video be posted?
I guess in a week, if I still decide to have a channel.
What is there something making you decide that maybe you want to get rid of it? Because the apology said, your content going forward. So it was, pretty much saying that this channel would remain and you would continue making content. So has that changed since yesterday?
That is the line I almost removed. That was the line I almost removed as far as going forward, because I have been, and I still am, do I even want to continue going with this channel?
Mm-hmm.
And the most honest and direct way I can say is I don't know. My mindset has certainly been on everything else is the priority. And I do love making comment. That too. I do love making content, and it's been great. I had, 3 months of pumping out a lot, and I love the creative process, and I love making people laugh. That hasn't gone away.
Yeah.
I feel everything is like really tainted now. Plus the question of, I haven't checked. For all I know, I've had 100 unsubscribes. That's
no, it's nothing that drastic at this point. So when these types of things happen, you've seen it with my own videos that a lot of people start coming forward, and with your history of that screen name, there are going to be a lot of people coming forward. Is there anything, and I'm asking you now directly, and I'm not saying who has or has not come forward or been contacted, but was there anything, is anyone from your comedy troupe going to say anything that, yeah, they saw this before, or there were signs of this, or anything like that?
As far as
inappropriateness or...
Gotcha. No, the only person who, let me just run through my thoughts. The only person who knows my channel exists is the original guy who I actually want to have on the channel.
First, now I'm not talking about anyone being aware of your channel. I'm talking about there's things that have been posted, and I guess there was a background in massage, which I didn't know anything. Of course, I don't care about any of that. But this is what happens. People start deep diving. And I'm saying if anyone is contacted from Funny Please, is there anything that any of them would say, like, oh yeah, I saw this coming, or something like that happened with females within the troupe, or is there anything like that? Never?
No, I did very briefly date one of the women.
Okay.
Oh. So she knows about my proclivities. There absolutely was one who was a member of the troupe for about a year.
Proclivities
she
regarding
months after I left.
The genie stuff, or the children stuff, or just the genie stuff?
Yikes.
Just the genie stuff.
Okay. And then again, like I said, I can't say who has or has not reached out yet, or who will or will reach out tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Have you contacted high school girls at any time?
No.
But he said he did. What?
Never. I'm sorry. You know what I was going to say.
No, go ahead, do it. Yeah, drop the...
Never, ever.
Okay, so never once have you... No one's going to come forward with any receipts proving otherwise?
Correct.
Okay. And then, just to be clear, because I want to be clear, when you say that you were looking at high school girls and pleasuring yourself, what age were these high school girls? And I want honesty, not honesty tomorrow. Let's get honesty today.
Yes. 17, 18, absolutely.
And you're sure of that?
I would, to cover myself, I'll say as low as 16.
Cover yourself? What?
You're sure of that?
Yes.
How could you be sure of that?
With my memory, and as long as I've done, I cannot be absolute, but there is a part of me that very much looks at younger girls and shudders.
Shudders in what way?
In the thought of being sexual, speaking sexual. No. I have a little bit of the, I was never a father, so I'm not going to pretend I know how, but there's a little bit of the protectiveness within me.
You don't need to be a father to not, okay.
I know I asked you the question the other day about, looking back and how your behavior was, and a lot of the things on your channel being about being an alpha. Now, in the clear light of day, are you an alpha?
No.
Is that who you are?
Alpha at all. I've not
Right,
behaved alpha
Chupa?
at all. The most alpha thing I've done in the past couple of days is call that doctor and say I need help.
No, I'll agree. Admitting that you need help is a really big first.
Also, isn't like the manosphere alpha people, don't they think that therapy is a waste of time?
Step, but then of course, believing it yourself and following through is the most important. And I think that's
why I like your idea of a follow-up video.
Yeah, I think people want to see that, especially if you plan on, keeping your channel and releasing those things. If you want people to support you, show them that you're not like everyone else, that you are taking this seriously and actually moving forward with it. Because, when you're talking about looking at high school girls as young as 16, I mean, it's impossible to tell. Impossible to tell. I'm sure there were some 14 and 15-year-olds mixed in there. And whether you want to admit it or not, I think we both know that, right?
It is impossible to tell sometimes.
Jordan,
I agree with you.
Could you admit that they were as young as 14 or 15? Because if you can't admit it to yourself, how are you going to admit it to a counselor? How are you going to admit it to anyone if you can't admit it to yourself?
I intend to say every single thought I've had when I'm there with a counselor. I intend to hold back nothing.
But I'm asking you right now, can you admit that they were probably as young as 14 and 15?
It's possible, yes.
Okay. And was that also on Instagram when you were searching for the genie stuff, or?
No. I don't know if you even necessarily want to hear this. I am not attracted to petite women. I tend to like bigger butts, bigger breasts.
Okay.
I've almost never dated someone who would be called petite. And
So what does that have to do with anything?
Well, that's weird because Molly's tiny, and you had no
we
problem
got him there.
sexualizing her in her comments.
Oh, we got him there.
I mean, she's petite.
she's in great shape. Absolutely. I was looking at
silence.
those yoga pants in the wrong way.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a lot of.
Why would you say that?
I think a lot of the
What the
women
fuck?
that you were
Hey, they got Jamie in the game.
sexualizing, would be considered attractive women by all.
They got Jamie in the game. That's $500.
Okay.
What the fuck?
So I'm just saying that doesn't really match up with what you're saying. So because my question wasn't on Instagram that you were seeing these girls that you were sexualizing, and you said no, and then you said I like bigger women. What does that have to do with?
Yeah, what does that have to do with anything?
Instagram, or where you were finding them?
I mean, in general, what I've been attracted to is women with more thick figures, fuller figures.
Okay,
especially a lot of the belly dancers
you're liking
that have been
little.
following for years. And
You're liking pictures of little
They're not on
girls
Instagram?
dressed as what?
They are.
Okay,
Yeah, with
Jordan,
fetish
where were you finding the high school girls and whatnot that you were pleasuring yourself to?
Exactly.
I mean, was it Instagram? Where was it that you were finding these? That's what I'm trying to figure out. And you're telling me that you liked bigger women. They're two different. This is an answer to a question I didn't ask.
I see. Yeah. In the past, it has been Instagram.
Okay. I mean, so that's definitely something that you're going to want to avoid and, talk with the therapist or whoever. So I know you did speak in the earlier versions of the apology letter about wanting to help the others if possible.
Oh, Jesus.
And if there was something that you could say to someone who was going through this, because I'm personally glad you left that out of the apology. I think it would have been really disingenuous then, but now, again, in the clear light of day, if you had a message to someone who maybe was thinking about leaving these types of comments or doing these types of things, what would that message be?
Get professional help.
When?
Immediately.
Okay. Yeah,
Don't wait. Don't wait for something bad to happen. Don't wait for you to get too quote-unquote tempted or what have you.
Yeah. It's never the time to ask, right? One of the comments there were a couple of live streams. It was crazy, like 1:30 in the morning, a live stream with 60 people, talking about this. Oh, and I'll be honest, Chris Hansen has reached out to me about this, and I don't even know how he found out about it. And I don't know if it's just to fishing for information or to find out what's going on, but he has reached out, and that's a pretty big deal. But one of the things that was said over and over by, well, I'll say Danny G, was he should have apologized the minute he found out about this. Friday night.
I agree.
Do you think that apology would have been genuine, though?
Friday night?
Mm-hmm.
Not nearly as genuine as it was yesterday.
Yeah.
Because I was still in denial, still worried much more about not embarrassing myself, worried much, and that's what I say to Minnie Silver. She's like, how? I was, when this first happened, all I cared about was my reputation and, damage control, rather than doing the right thing.
Rather than getting ahead of it, putting it all out there so that no one else can tell your story for you.
Yeah.
That's what that's what the police.
The fact that told me.
That's what, that's what the police do when they sit those people down for the interrogation. They go, I don't think you're a bad guy. Tell me your story so that I don't have to tell it for you. In that case, you get a lawyer, right? You don't talk to them. But in your case, you wanted to tell your story before someone else did, because then they just fill in the blanks, and then they try and figure out what you're not saying with receipts, and they start contacting people to verify things that you said, and it's just a lot. But because that's really what I want to do. I just the apology came out yesterday. You had the interview with Minnie. What is your overall?
Yeah, there's a thing about that. Like, they just, I guess, because, children are, like, thin, because they're children. In their head, they're like, well, if I say I like fat girls, like, that means I like adults only. Like, what? I can't forget Brooke sniffing Aaron's clothes to see if they're clean or not. Ew, gross. That book is literally just focused on the food. Remember the creature? There's a scene where the monster is attacking them, and him and the teenage girlfriend. Is she pregnant? Isn't she pregnant too? The pregnant teen and the boyfriend. They hide out in the little cabin. They just have this montage of making coffee and eggs when the monster was attacking them. I rewrote that also. Like, I did like a blurb. I don't know where it is though, but I tried to like make it better. It was very short though. It was nothing special.
Takeaway, like just to kind of close.
I don't know where it is. I must have deleted it. It's gone. Deleted.
I believe that now it's time for you to start whatever work it is that you have to do to improve, and not focus on this all day. And so, what would be your final takeaway of all of it?
When you say takeaway, as far as what I've learned, or as far as
however you take that, whether it's what you learned, whatever it is.
My main concern by far is getting the help as soon as possible.
Mm-hmm.
I think I told you, but in case I didn't, he contacted me, sent me the forms. Yeah. It's all been signed. It's already been emailed, so I'm just waiting for him. That is my main concern. Right now, between you and me, I feel asexual. I don't even want to flirt with anyone. I want to put my energies into anything and everything else. I've been deleting friends from my Facebook that I know looking at will turn it on. I've been deleting people I follow on Instagram. I don't even want to masturbate. Shit.
Oh, why are you telling Wes this? That's good to know.
Yeah, that's why I can put it.
That's that's really kind of what I wanted to get to the bottom of, and just kind of check in and see how you were.
Yeah, in high school, if any of my friends were like, I got pregnant, we would not be celebrating that. We'd be like, what the fuck? Like, what happened? Like, it is not a celebratory thing. What the fuck? Lauren wrote 2 books, and they're both focused around an author insert character hooking up with a young virginal girl who loves him unconditionally for no reason. Weird. Yeah, none of the women in his books have any sort of personality. He focuses on their, like, that they're nice, basically. They said that he says that they're nice, they get married, and they have sex. That's it. That's all there is to them. There's no... And there's, like, characters he doesn't even give names to. I don't even think his mom has a name in Taken Abroad. Aaron's mom. I don't think she has a name. Eel, does she have a name? She doesn't, right? You read that with Cornville. I don't think she has a name. Taken Abroad can't even be used as toilet paper.
We're feeling with everything that was done and making sure that once that apology was out there, you know, like I think at some point you should look at the comments and...
Was she really 16 in The Creature? That's fucked up. Ooh.
Start processing those, because that's going to be a part of this. You know, gauge how the community is feeling about this. I mean, when you have people who haven't done streams in months or haven't, when's the last time Wine Lover did a stream? And those people are talking about it. That's attention that you wanted, but not the attention that you wanted at the same time.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely.
You know, so I highly suggest you go and look at those and start processing those whenever you're ready. I gotta get out of here. I have to take my kid to the shooting range. But do you have a joke or a quote or anything that is helping you through this, or? Because I feel like you're probably the kind of person who likes to liven things up with comedy and, you know, make dark situations within your life, a little gallows humor.
Yeah, definitely. I should be sent to an island.
I should be sent to an island.
Jesus.
What would that island be called?
So stupid.
Incarceration Island, as Chef would say.
I think that's your next song right there. All right, man. Well, you know, I'll be around, and if you want to reach out on Skype, I'm there. But like I said, you know, like I made clear from that first message, you know, it's impossible to promote and that type of thing with what's gone on. But you know, I am pulling for you to get better in all this and really stick with it and make it a priority to change, because this isn't
right now. Jordan is like, what's the first song I should do when I come back?
who anyone wants to be or what anyone wants to be known for.
Hell no.
So no one wants to be a cautionary tale.
Fuck yeah. Wes, I don't know why you've given me so much of your time, and...
Oh my god, he's so dumb. He's like, I wonder why Wes is giving me so much of his time. This person who is... this person who also makes fun of people who are weird.
Support.
That's what I do. This is what I do.
This is what I do.
You know what? I will tell you something moderately funny. I had ideas for sketches, and a couple of them where I called you. I was going to do one sketch where I ran out of ideas, and I called various members of the community who are bigger than me and do stuff. And I was going to do one where I call you, and you're such an over-the-top goody two-shoes that you're like, oh, I have time before I go to the soup kitchen. How can I help you? Blah, blah, blah.
Bruh.
Yeah.
And,
totally.
That's me.
That's me to
I
perfection.
want to put these books in here.
Well, yeah, you should. I mean, you know, keep storyboarding those ideas. Who knows when Jordan Comedy makes his comeback, right? Now, who doesn't love a comeback story?
Sure. You're a saint, Mr. Mouse.
His coupons like a... His coupons know very much about a comeback story.
That's what they call me. As Brittany Simon said, I'm a little angel. So
there you go.
Little angel.
She knows what she's talking about.
She does. She absolutely knows what she's talking about. All right, so you know, do what you need to do, and look at that video when you can. And any questions pop up, you just contact me on Skype.
Thanks so much, bro.
All right.
Thank you so much, bro. Okay. That is the ending of that. That's all I'm gonna do for today. But that was fun. I hate Jordan. I was actually very attentive. Usually, I think it's because Wes and mini syllables, you know, when other people are talking with Jordan, I could pay attention more. But like when it's just him by himself, like I always zone out. But anyways, I hope you guys have a good rest of your Sunday. Thanks for hanging out with me. Goodbye.